Hi all my students of Standard 10. How are we going? Let's continue with our Union Parliament, and we begin with from my last module. Today we are going to start with the qualifications and disqualifications of the members. Okay, so first of all I'll give you my notes and then we'll refer to the textbook. I hope you all can see it because I'm not very sure about the lighting system and all. Anyway, let's begin with the qualification. Now, as far as the qualifications and disqualifications are concerned, they both are same. Okay, for the Lok Sabha also and for the Rajya Sabha also. We have the same qualification and disqualifications. So, wherever you read, it's okay. The only difference that you've got to remember is that in the Lok Sabha, we have the age limit as 25 years, and in the Rajya Sabha, we have the age limit as 30 years. Okay, that is the only difference. Otherwise the qualifications are the same and the disqualifications are also the same. So qualifications of Lok Sabha is given to you on page number 194, and in the Rajya Sabha it has been given on page number 206. So you can refer to any of them and we can learn them up. He should be an Indian citizen. He should be at least 25 years of age or 30 years of age if he is in the Rajya Sabha. He should have his name in the electoral rolls of any part of the country, or he should not be an insolvent. That means he should not be a person who has taken a loan from somebody and not been able to pay, or he should not be in debt basically. He should not hold any office of profit under the government. He or she should not be a proclaimed criminal, and he or she should not be of unsound mind. Okay, so these are the qualifications. Then what are the disqualifications? How is a member disqualified? Once you are chosen, you have all these qualifications and you are chosen, after which you are disqualified. So how will you be disqualified? That is also given to you over here. It's the same for Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha both. A person shall be disqualified for being chosen as a member of either of the House of the Parliament if he holds any office of profit under the Government of India or the state government. Okay. But not a minister for the union or for the state. If he or she is of unsound mind, if he or she is an undischarged insolvent, if he or she is not a citizen of India, so suddenly you give up your citizenship and you become a citizen somewhere else, or has voluntarily acquired citizenship of a foreign state, or is under an acknowledgement of allegiance or adherence to a foreign power. If he or she is so disqualified by any law which has been made by the parliament, if you are disqualified, then you cannot continue as a member of the parliament. Okay. Now if it's very simple, you'll have to just learn it up. Okay. Now if any question arises as to whether a member of either house of the parliament has become a subject to any of the above disqualifications. What do you mean by above disqualifications? Which they've given to you in your book. So if you become a subject of such a disqualification and there is a question which arises which is doubtful, that you're not sure whether this disqualification is there or not, okay, then you have to refer to the President and the Election Commission. These two people, and this thing will be final. A penalty will be imposed upon a person who sits or votes in either house of the parliament knowing that he or she is not qualified. So if you are already elected as a member but for some reason you have become disqualified, still if you vote in the parliament, then you will have to pay a penalty. Okay, now we come to the next point from my notes, we'll come to the textbook a little later. Now how are the members of the Rajya Sabha? Why? Because I'm doing Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha both together. So that's why we come to my textbook. The members are elected by a single transferable vote and in accordance with the system of proportional representation. I have already explained to you what is a single transferable vote in my last module, and this I've explained to you proportional representation in the last module, and single transferable vote we will be doing in detail when we do the president. Okay, so that is the time I'll explain it to you in detail. So first of all, the members are elected by a single transferable vote in accordance with the system of proportional representation. The representatives of the union territories are chosen in such a manner as the parliament may prescribe. So whatever the parliament prescribes, according to that you are chosen. Now, when does a seat in either of the houses of the parliament lie vacant? That is your next topic, which is given in your book as a vacation of seats. Vacation of seats means vacating. It is not your holidaying. It is vacating means vacation of seats. When do you vacate your seat? Means when do you empty your seat or when do you step down from your seat? That is given to you over here. I have given it to you in short in my notes, so we'll be reading from the notes. A member resigns by writing to the speaker or the chairman. A member remains absent. So that is the first thing when you have to vacate. If you want to vacate your seat, then you have to write to the speaker or to the chairman. Then a member remains absent from the house for more than 60 days. So if you're absent from the house for more than 60 days, then you have to vacate your seat. There are certain disqualifications which are laid down in the constitution. So the constitution itself has laid down when the members will have to vacate their seats. If you qualify for any of those disqualifications which are laid down in the constitution, then you have to vacate your seat. Okay, if you are already a member of the state legislature and he is elected to the parliament, then he has to vacate his seat in the state legislature. So if you are already a member in the parliament of the state, if you are already a member in the state legislature and you are elected to the union legislature, to the parliament, then you empty your seat at the state legislature or vice versa. If you are a member in the parliament and you are chosen for and you are going for the state legislature, then you empty your seat in the from the parliament. So whether it is from state legislature to the parliament or parliament to the state legislature, you have to vacate your seat. You can't be a member in both. You can be in either. Okay, then what do we mean by anti-defection law? There is another law by which you become disqualified. That is the last point. It's an anti-defection law. Supposing you belong to a particular party. Okay, now you are belonging to that particular party. I'm sorry, children. You are belonging to a particular party, and say you're belonging to party A, and party A, leader of party A has decided that when this resolution comes up for voting or when this particular bill comes up for voting at the parliament, everybody in my party is going to vote against it or is going to vote for it. But if a member decides that no, I don't want to go by what my party is saying, if the party has said vote against it and the member says no, I will vote for it, then he has to vacate his seat because he has won the election on that particular party's seat. So he cannot go against that party. Then he has to vacate the seat from the house. So that is called as anti-defection law. Means you are going against your party leadership. Okay. Then we come to the parliamentary procedures. Now what are the parliamentary procedures? They are both same in both the houses. So in both your chapters, it's easy for you to understand. So parliamentary procedures are those formalities which are observed in both the houses. First of all, what do you mean by a session? There are sessions in both the houses. What do you mean by session? It is a formal period when both the houses convene, means come together, and they conduct their business. So the Lok Sabha convenes, it does its business. The Rajya Sabha convenes, it does its Rajya Sabha's business. Okay. Then the president summons each house of the parliament. There has to be a minimum of 2 sessions with a gap between them should be less than 6 months. So minimum you should have 2 sessions and the gap between these 2 sessions should be less than 6 months. But in India, we are having 3 sessions. We are following 3 sessions: the budget session, the monsoon session, and the winter session. The budget session is from February to May. Monsoon session is from July to August. Winter session is from November to December. So you can learn this up. You can read it in your textbook also. I have given it in point form, so it's easier to learn. Then we come to quorum. What do you mean by quorum? Quorum means a minimum number of people required to be present so that that particular house can conduct its business, means it can work. Okay. So the minimum number of members required to be present. Please add over there to be present. I've forgotten. Required to be present in the house to transact its business, which in both the houses is 1/10 of its total members. So if the total strength of Lok Sabha, 1/10 of that Lok Sabha strength has to be present in the Lok Sabha, 1/10 of the Rajya Sabha strength has to be present in the Rajya Sabha, so that the particular house can conduct its business. If it is not present, that day will go wasted. Okay, then we come to interpellation. What do you mean by interpellation? These are all parliamentary procedures. Interpellation means the right of the members to ask questions of public interest to the government. That means you can ask questions to the government, which questions not about your family, but about something which is of public interest. So you ask those questions to the government, and you have a right to ask that. Okay, now what are these types of questions? We come to the next page. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we come to those different types of questions. What are these questions referred to? The first are of, and the question are. They generally ask this question for ICSE. What do you mean by the questionnaire? The questionnaire is something which starts at 11 a.m. in the morning, and it is the first hour of every working day of the session in the Lok Sabha is reserved for asking questions unless the speaker decides otherwise. If the speaker says no, we don't have the questionnaire today, you cannot have the questionnaire. Okay, and all the questions have to be addressed to the chair. Means the members cannot ask each other questions. They have to ask the questions to the chair, to the speaker or to the chairman. A member has to give a 10-day notice for a particular question. So you cannot just get up and start asking a question. You have to give a 10-day notice period that I'm going to ask this question. Then the speaker has to approve of that question, and then you can ask that question. And that question has to be addressed to the speaker or to the person sitting in the chair. Okay, there are 3 types of questions. You have start questions, unstart questions, and short notice questions. Now what is the meaning of that? We are going to read from the textbook. What do you mean by the start questions? Yes, the start questions are those questions which a member wishes to have an oral answer on the floor of the house. Please mark that. What do you mean by start questions? To have an oral house on the house of the floor, oral answer. Such questions are indicated by an asterisk mark. Supplementary questions, please underline. Supplementary questions may be asked after replies to such questions are given by the ministers. So start question means you take the permission and you ask, of course a 10-day notice has to be given, and you ask that particular minister, whichever minister you want to ask, you ask him a question, but you don't want a written answer. You ask a question orally. You get the answer also orally. Once the answer is given to you orally, you have a right to re-question on that oral answer. Means if you are not satisfied with that particular answer, you can ask him again that what exactly do you mean by that. Okay, so you have that right. Okay, that is a start question. Then we come to unstart questions. Unstart questions are those questions to which answers are given in a written form, and no supplementary questions can be asked thereon because you are taking a written answer. Short notice questions relate to a matter of urgent importance. Such questions are asked with a notice shorter than that of 10 days. So there is some urgent matter which you want to take up, and you ask a question. You want to ask a question, but you don't have the time to give a 10-day notice period. So then it is called a short notice question, where the notice period is shorter than 10 days. The normal notice period is 10 days, but if your notice period is shorter than 10 days, then it is called a short notice question. Okay. The minister concerned has to be asked whether he can reply to that question or not. So for a short notice question, the speaker or the chair will first ask the minister that are you willing to give this particular reply? If you are not willing to give that particular reply, you cannot force him to answer your short notice question. He may not answer. It is for him to accept or not to accept this short notice question. Did you understand? So those are the 3 types of questions. Now we come to the 0 hour. So this is about the first hour. Like I explained to you, what types of questions. We have a question hour which starts at 11 o'clock, and you can ask these 3 types of questions in this question hour. In the question hour, you can ask start questions, unstart questions, and short notice questions. When can you ask? In the question hour. Then we come to the 0 hour. The 0 hour begins at 12 o'clock and it goes up to 1 o'clock, after which there is a lunch break. So the members can raise all types of questions, charges, counter charges, and they are controlled by the presiding officer, whether it is a speaker, whether it is the chair, whoever controls it, you can ask. Okay, so that is the 0 hour. Then we come to the word called motion. What do you mean by motion? A motion is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the House should take up the matter of public interest. The House should take up a particular matter of public interest. Okay, it's a formal proposal made by a member. That is called a motion. That I think this matter is of public interest and therefore I request that this should be addressed, this should be taken up. Then we have so that is called a motion. What do you mean by adjournment motion? It means to lay aside all other matters or businesses and take up a definite matter of urgent importance. Okay, one is a matter of public importance. Adjournment motion means that a particular motion that you are seeking, where you are saying that this matter is very, very important and it should lay aside everything that we are normally considering and take up this particular matter because it is more important. Okay, now let's read from your textbook. Okay, adjournment motion means I'm reading the adjournment motion past because it's given you examples over here. An adjournment motion means a proposal to lay aside all other businesses and take up a definite matter of urgent importance. Such a motion leads to the interruption, please underline it, leads to the interruption of the normal business of the House, and they are generally allowed on subjects such as a railway accident resulting in the death of several persons, a daring dacoity, or some natural calamity like a devastating flood or a communal tension or something of that sort. Okay, so you can take these examples from here. Now we come to the question of, now we are doing all different types of motions. Okay, first one we did was an adjournment motion. Now we come to a no confidence motion versus a confidence motion. What is the difference in the two? We'll learn from the textbook. A no confidence motion is something which is generally moved by the opposition. Whoever is sitting in the opposition, he moves a no confidence motion to say that we don't have confidence in the government and we want this government to go and we want another government to come. Okay, so we have no confidence in the motion. That is called a no confidence motion. Okay. Now see, a no confidence motion, I want you all to underline this first. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the entire Lok Sabha, including the members of the opposition. So the Council of Ministers is responsible also to the opposition, not only to the entire Lok Sabha. Now, the no confidence motion in the government is moved by the opposition. So, please underline by the opposition. No confidence motion is by the opposition. And only when it has the support of 50 members. So, if you want to move a no confidence motion, then you should have at least 50 members present who are agreeing that okay, we don't have confidence in this government and we want to move a no confidence motion. So 50 members of any house should agree to that, only then you can have a no confidence motion. Now once you propose this no confidence motion, that we don't have confidence in the government, you propose such a motion, then what will happen? Within a matter of 10 days, that motion has to be taken up for discussion. So then there will be a discussion. There will be questions, counter questions, charges, counter charges, everything will happen. So there will be a discussion. After the entire motion has been discussed, the speaker or the chairperson will put that motion, the speaker will put that motion to vote. And once it is passed by a majority, then that government, if it is passed by a majority, then the government will have to resign. And then we will have fresh elections. And this can happen only in the Lok Sabha because the Rajya Sabha is a permanent member, is a permanent house. You cannot dissolve the Rajya Sabha. Only Lok Sabha can be dissolved. Okay, we have done that earlier already, but I'm just revising. So it has to have the support of at least 50 members. Underline that, at least 50 members. Then underline discussion within 10 days. Then you come to on conclusion of the debate, the speaker puts the motion to vote. That is the next point. And then the last point is, if the motion is passed, the government has to resign. So these are the points. If you are asked to write about the no confidence motion, then you have to give all these points which I have said, and of course the definition which is given to you. Okay. Now we come to what is called the confidence motion. The confidence motion is exactly the opposite of the no confidence motion. And what is that? The confidence motion is proposed by the government to say that we have full confidence in our government and it is functioning properly and you don't have a right to question us. Okay. So we want to move a confidence motion to prove that we have confidence in the government. Now this is proposed by the government itself. Once the government gives such a proposal, what will happen? Same way, again there will be 10 days. There has to be a period of 10 days, after which this confidence motion will be taken up for discussion. Once it is discussed, after that then again it will be put to vote, and then the majority has to prove that we have confidence in that government. Now an example is given. Every single vote is very important because they have given to you, they have given a confidence, an example over here, that during the 12th Lok Sabha, the government which was headed by Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee lost a confidence motion by just one vote. Just one vote made the entire government of Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee fall, and there were fresh elections for the Lok Sabha. For general elections were held at that time. Okay. Then we come to the adjournment and prorogation of the House. Before that, I want to give you this page. Please take it. Or did I give it to you? I don't know. If I am not giving it to you, please take it. Now we come to the no confidence motion. I have given you a difference in the two. The one, no confidence motion, is a proposal expressing the lack of confidence in the government. If you are asked this question for an MCQ, or if you are asked a 1-mark question, then you can give it in short. If you are asked a detailed question, then you give all these points which I have made you mark. But if it's a 1-mark question, then you can just give these points. Okay. Proposal expressing lack of confidence in the government, and it is moved by the opposition. And what is a confidence motion? It is a proposal to show confidence in the government, and it is moved by the government. The details I have already done with you. Now we come to adjournment and prorogation of the House. Now forget these other motions that we have done. Okay, that adjournment motion was something different. Now we are coming to adjournment and prorogation of the entire House, of the entire Lok Sabha, of the entire Rajya Sabha. That is a difference. Okay. Now adjournment of the House means suspension of the sitting of the House by the Speaker. So we are talking that the Speaker says that I am adjourning the House. Now why does this power rests with the Speaker or with the Chairman? Okay, that point I've given you. So they say that we are adjourning the House. Now when can this happen? When it can be declared if there is too much disorder in the House. If there is too much of shouting, of slogans, and too much of ruckus created, then the Speaker or the Chairman, they have an absolute right, and they say that we are adjourning this House. Okay. Then for want of quorum, if less than 1/10 people are present, then they can adjourn the House. Then if there has been a death of a sitting member, so if there is a member who is a sitting member who is a current member, sitting member means a current member, if he has passed away, then the Speaker or the Chairman will adjourn the House. And then after the day's business, after the entire day's business has been conducted properly, then the Speaker or the Chairman will say House adjourned till the next day. Okay. Now there is also another type, adjournment sine die. This is a Latin word which means without date. And when does this happen? Means without any particular date. The Speaker can declare when the session's business is concluded. If that they have already planned that for this session we are going to do this particular amount of work. If that entire amount of work or that entire business has been conducted, then the Speaker or the Chairman can say that the House is adjourned sine die, which means that no date. The date will be announced at some later stage. Okay, so this is the adjournment of the house. Now what do you mean by prorogation of the house? Prorogation of the house, please mark that this power rests only with the president. Only the president can prorogate a house, and this means it is a termination of the session of the parliament. The president decides that we don't want this session at all, and he says prorogate the house, he or she. So that is called by prorogation, when the entire parliament is prorogated. So that much for the difference. Now we come to the journey of a bill to become a law. How does a particular bill become a law? And that I will do with you all next time. Till then, I want you all to understand all this in detail and learn it up properly, so that we are well prepared for the next session. Okay. So let's see what we have covered today. From your chapter 1, we have covered qualifications and disqualifications, then the vacation of seat, then the parliamentary procedure. Please keep marking in your book the sessions, the quorum, the questions, question hour, types of questions, then the 0 hour, motion, adjournment, no confidence, adjournment and prorogation of the house, and the anti-defection law. I have explained to you what is the anti-defection law. All this I have covered. Oh no, I think I need to do the anti-defection law from your textbook. I don't know why I have not mentioned it. Please mention it over there in the notes that you need to do it from your textbook. Okay. The Constitutional Act of the 52nd Amendment is popularly known as the anti-defection law. It added an 1 minute. I can't see properly. I'm sorry. Okay. So we come to the anti-defection law in detail. The Constitutional Act, the 52nd Amendment of 1985. This Constitutional Act is of 1985, and this is popularly known as the anti-defection law. This added a 10th schedule to the Constitution, setting out certain provisions regarding the vacation of seats, means vacating the seats, and disqualification of membership from the parliament and state legislature on the grounds of defection. I have explained to you what you mean by defection. And what are these conditions which have been given in this Constitutional Act of 1985? That has been given over here. Let's read it. An elected member of the parliament or the state legislature who has been elected as a candidate set up by a political party would be disqualified on the ground of defection when, mark, he or she voluntarily relinquishes his membership from the political party, abstains from voting, or votes in contrary to the direction of the party. So that is the first thing that the Constitution Act of 1985 has said, that if you relinquish, means if you give up your seat, or if you abstain from voting, or if you vote against your party, okay, then a nominated member of the parliament, please mark, a nominated member of the parliament or state legislature will be disqualified if he, it's the same point. It's the same point for an elected member also and for a nominated member also. The only difference over here is that the first one gives you about an elected member and the second one is about a nominated member. Please remember that the nominated member of a parliament is present in the upper house. The upper house is the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so here we are talking about the nominated member. The earlier one was for the state legislature in the lower house, that means the elected members in the Lok Sabha and the lower house of the state legislature. Is this clear, children? So both the points are same, only one is for the elected member, the other one is for the nominated member. Nominated member will be in the Rajya Sabha or the upper house, and elected member will be in the Lok Sabha or the lower house. Okay, then any nominated member of the parliament or the Rajya Sabha, or the state legislature, is not a member of any political party. Means supposing a nominated member has been nominated by the president or whoever who has nominated him, and he is not a member of any political party, and within a matter of 6 months he does not become a member of a political party, then he has to resign. See, a nominated member of the parliament or the state legislature who is not a member of a political party at the time of his nomination and who has not become a member of any political party before the expiry of 6 months from the time that his seat is taken, then he is disqualified. So till the word disqualified. If he joins any political party after 6 months also, he is not counted. So if you are a nominated member and you are not a member of any political party, then you have to ensure that you join a political party. Okay. Then an independent member of a parliament or the state legislature will be disqualified if he joins a political party after the elections. So if you have been elected as an independent member and then later you decide that no, I don't want to be an independent member but I want to join a political party, then you will be disqualified because people have voted for you because you are independent. Okay, so even then this all is being laid down in the Constitution. Remember when I was teaching you that there are certain constitutional provisions which disqualify you as a member. So these are those disqualifications laid down in the Constitutional Act 52nd Amendment of 1985. Okay. Then we come to the point, the exemption. What is the exemption? A person who has been elected to the office of a speaker, deputy speaker, chairman or deputy chairman cannot be disqualified if he or she voluntarily gives up his membership of a political party. So if you become a speaker or a chairman or a deputy speaker or a deputy chairman, if you give up, you are supposed to give up your membership of the political party. So then you are not disqualified. So that is the exemption. Okay. Please remember the exemption also. So mark from a person till the last point. The entire paragraph is important. That is the exemption. So with that I conclude this point, and in the next module we will be doing about how a bill becomes a law. Children, please learn this much. I know most of you would have learned, but in case you haven't learned, I request you all to learn it, because otherwise you can get full marks in civics because there is no ambiguity. It is just there. It is given in black and white. You are supposed to learn it. And everything has to be learned by heart. You can get 100 on 100. For your history civics paper, you can get full marks. Okay? So please learn up everything so that you get your full marks. And see you all again in my next module. Bye everyone.